The 360-Degree Feedback System by Trevor Curtis. The purpose of feedback is to inform people about how others perceive their actions and communications. It is one way of helping employees determine whether they are on track in meeting their personal goals and expectations. There are many forms and systems of feedback within organizations used for improving performance. Although performance appraisers are supposed to be free of bias, in reality it is very difficult to find a supervisor whose decisions are not colored by personal feelings, even if just a small amount on an unconscious level. This bias means that the appraisal that employees receive will be at least partially subjective and therefore to some degree inaccurate. In some organizations, one person conducts all the performance evaluations. However, in larger organizations, it is necessary for the evaluations to be split among a number of parties. In this case, there is a high chance that some performance evaluators will be more lenient than others. Those employees who by chance are rated by these lenient evaluators may receive higher marks than those who receive stricter ones. If performance appraisal is linked to compensation, such as bonuses, this can be very unfair. A performance appraisal will, in all cases, base the performance of an employee on a limited amount of information. This information may come from the employee's supervisor, coworkers, or a combination of the two, as well as from the work the employee has produced. In many instances, the information used may present a portrait of the employee's performance that is inaccurate or misleading. One of the systems used for performance evaluation is known as the 360-degree feedback system. This is a system where a person receives feedback from multiple sources. Unlike traditional feedback, where the employee receives feedback only from immediate supervisors, there are many people involved. The employee will do a self-evaluation, the clients will share their thoughts on the employee's performance, the peers and subordinates of the employee are also involved in sharing feedback and suggestions on how the employee can improve their performance. Once all the data is gathered from all parties involved with the feedback, there is an action plan developed so that the employee can implement the improvements into their day-to-day tasks. There are multiple advantages to the 360-degree feedback system. The most important advantage of this feedback system is that there are a variety of sources that provide input in helping the employee with their performance. When someone receives feedback from a variety of sources, it decreases the biased opinions of the few. If, for example, a boss dislikes an employee personally, then a traditional feedback system may leave the employee with a poor performance review, even when there may not be a problem. Of course, the opposite may be true as well. The boss may be good friends with the employee, and the employee may receive a good performance report even when the problems persist. Another advantage of the 360-degree feedback system is every employee has an opportunity to evaluate others within their organization. This can assist employees in considering their own performance as they answer questions about others. It can also be a positive way for everyone to participate in company growth or streamline processes. A downward or traditional feedback system seems to be less advantageous than a multi-directional feedback system, such as the 360-degree one, as long as the feedback is honest and consistent. There are disadvantages of the 360-degree feedback system. For example, it does not completely remove bias from the feedback. People can still give positive or negative feedback dependent on superficial reasons rather than actual performance. It is also possible that employees will not accept criticism or suggestions from their subordinates instead of their traditional supervisor. With any feedback system, there is also a chance that the employee will not internalize the feedback and may disregard any action plans that will help them improve. This can be a greater issue with the 360-degree feedback system since the employee is receiving feedback from non-traditional sources. The 360-degree feedback system is both facilitative and authoritative. It is facilitative because it asks questions to encourage fresh thinking, encourages the other person to generate new opinions and solutions, and it has the employee listen and summarize. There are surveys given in a 360-degree feedback system that are typically set up to have the person being evaluated have a fresh outlook on his or her situation and to summarize the solutions that might assist in improvement. The 360-degree feedback system is also authoritative because it gives advice and guidance, tells the other person how they should behave, tells them what to do, gives the other person's view and experience, explains the background and principles, and helps the other person get a better understanding. In order to implement the 360-degree feedback system, all parties involved need to invest in its execution. From the boss all the way down to the subordinates and clients, everyone needs to buy into the system and follow through. Those who offer feedback to employees while using the 360-degree system need to stay on topic and remain impartial and professional. There are times that personal opinion can alter the feedback, or the comments made are not necessarily about job performance, but rather about the personality of the person in question. It is crucial that organizations take care before implementing a new feedback system. No matter which system they use or switch to, they must weigh the pros and cons to be assured that it will be a benefit and an asset to the company. The leaders need to be motivated to adopt the system and implement it with a belief that it will help the organization meet its goals. The 360-degree feedback system sounds good in many ways and has great benefits, but it needs to remain focused on the individual being evaluated and their performance. It also needs to be well written and carried out in order for success. With any feedback system, it is very important that the organization evaluates the system itself to see if positive results are being recorded and observed. If positive results are not being seen, then it might be necessary to either alter the feedback system in use or to switch to an alternative way to measure and bring about change in employee performance.